All right, everyone. As I said before, my name is Hadil. I'm in charge of marketing, and my colleague Ahmed Abdullah here is also um, working on making sure all our teachers and customers are um, all like any questions they have are answered in like minutes. Good job
Hello,
on that,
everybody.
Abdullah. Let's start so we can save some time. And I know how busy teachers are, especially in the beginning of school. So I'm going to share my screen, and I just want to make sure if someone can confirm that they can see my screen. Can anyone see my screen? This is the Springring platform. All right, so let's start with the menu. This is where most of your features are. We have your personal section, which is where you will begin. You'll begin with all, when you sign in, your first view is your all updates. This is where any new updates, any new posts from classes, from teachers, from school boards, administrators, all end up here. And then once you view them, they of course go into their respective groups or classes or within your direct posts. Now, direct posts is where all of your direct communication is where you're communicating with directly to parents or directly to students, and it's not in your class or in your school board. Then you have your classes. So these are all the classes that have been created by teachers within the school. And you can see this gray pencil icon. That means I have access to edit this class. And the ones that don't means that I don't have access to edit this class. Let's go with grade 5 English. So this is one of my classes. Now, I can view my students within this class, which is our students registry. So I just go to the student tab, and you can see that I have added students to my class, and you can add students in two different ways. You can add them individually, and then they will appear under this list, or you can add them from groups by adding a whole group, and then they will appear in the section for groups. Now, how do you add students to your class? You can add by clicking this button. All right, so you're gonna see the list of students within the whole school, and instead of scrolling until the end of time to find your students, you may be a really big school with tons of students, or a small preschool, but to save you time, you can either search. Let's see, I'm going to see if I can search for Corey, and I found him, and I can add him to my class. Or another way that you can find and add a student is when you create a new class. So how do you create a new class? You go to the top of your menu, create a new class. Let's say I'm going to name it English 1B. This is, the description is very optional, so I'm just going to write English grammar. And you can choose yourself or another teacher as the class teacher for this class. You will still have edit access because you created the class, but if you don't want to be the class teacher, you want someone else to be, you can assign someone else, but I would like to be the class teacher here. And what you can also do is add fellow teachers to your class so they can also contribute to your class communication. Let's say I'm going to add Albus, and I can remove whenever I would like to remove their access to my class. I can also add groups so that I can save time and add all the people I want to add to my class at once. So I want to add all the teachers, staff, or students in elementary school. So you can see now that I've added 4 teachers and 18 students and 2 staff members in total. Now you just click next. And this is where you can add even further. If you were looking for a student or a parent, or a teacher or a administrator that wasn't in that group, and you don't want to add the whole group, so you can search for, I want to add Corey again. So there, I've added Corey to my class, and that's done. So now you've created your class. You can go back to view your class, or it'll automatically direct you to that class. And you can see here, I have all of my students that I've added within that group, and then I have 1 student that I've added individually. How do you view a student profile? You just click the eye icon, and it'll show you all the properties and profile features within the student. So Corey has 1 parent attached, connected to his profile, and you can see that he is part of these boards and these classes and these groups. This is what we call a student diary. The student diary is where you can create specific diary entries for parents to view current academic progress or social development progress or milestones that a student has achieved. And this can be viewed in multiple ways. So let's say I'm a teacher and I want to create a new diary entry for Corey. I can click here, go next. So Corey had a breakthrough in math. He learned all the timetables. And I can add a picture or an attachment, a file, PDF, or even a video. So all parents can be involved in any of these milestones of their kids. So let me create this post, which is a diary entry. Okay, so now, once you've created your diary entries, they will appear here. So now that I've only created 1, you can only see 1. But all the diary entries of Corey Joseph will appear here. The good thing about diary entries is that we let parents comment on each individual progress that's been added to a diary entry. So let's say I would like to comment or start the conversation off. He improved tremendously. So the parent is going to be able to see this message and respond within the same diary entry, and keeping the conversation about a specific topic and making sure that all this documentation is ended. Oh, 1 second, let's add someone else. Okay. So as I was saying, making sure that all our communication is to the point and all organized within the diary entry. But there are other forms of parent communication, which I mentioned before. I talked about the direct post. So the direct post is one of our popular ways for teachers to communicate with parents. How can you create a direct post? How can you communicate with parents? You create a new post. Let's say I want to share a link with a parent. Let's see, my Springring. Okay, so I would like to share this link with a parent. So I would like to go to my class, which was English 1B. All right, so this is if I would like to post to my class. But right now I want to post to a specific parent of Corey. All right, so I can choose to post to just to the parents, or to both parents and students, or just students. So I would like to only post to his parents. Let's say student diary updates. Please refer to Corey's backpack. Okay. I can choose to mark this as an alert if I have a diary post that I want them to urgently view and they have not viewed it yet. So I'm going to send this direct post and mark it as an alert. This feature is very popular because this will notify parents immediately, even if their notifications are off. I just saw a person. Okay. So I added my link, created the direct post. So now the direct post will appear in this section. So this is the post I just posted. There's a link and the card that goes along with the website and the message, and you can see the border around it is red. That's what differentiates an alert post from the rest of the posts. Now, let's say I want to communicate a new class event to my students. Let's say I want to post a new event that's happening. So I clicked on the event post, and I will use post to boards because I want to post to my class, and I want to also include my students. So this is going to be about science fair that's coming up. I'm going to add the title, the location. It will be in the science hall, and it's going to be an all-day event, so I don't have to enter the time or from into durations because it is all day. But I do have to enter the date. So let's say it's going to be tomorrow, and the end date will be also one day. So you can choose an event to be on one day or multiple days. So let's say it's going to be until Sunday. Then I can write a small description about the event, where it's going to be, time, add a Google Map link. If it's online, I could add a Zoom link. And then you can also mark it as an alert. And this is a new feature. It's not really new, sorry. It's just something that we haven't seen in this webinar. So pin this is something that is going to allow you to keep this specific post at the top of your class for a specific period of time. So let's say I want to keep it until the end of September. Okay, and I can choose a time till when the post is going to be. So let's say till 7. Create a post. Now it will always remain at the top of the post, and all new posts or old posts under it will come below this post. So let me show you a board with all of these.
Just a second, Hadi, there's a question here.
Yes.
The question was, if you choose the post to users option and you selected more than one user, can the other users see who else you are sending that message to? The answer is no. Only you as a teacher, after creating the post, when you click on the post, there is a view all option where you can see yourself who was this message sent to.
Yes, you can only see that it was, I mean, the parents will only see that it was sent to them and not that it was sent to multiple parents. It's just for you to know that you have sent to these multiple parents. Thank you for answering the question, Abdullah. Just keep an eye out on the communication so that we answer all of the questions. And feel free to jump in with any question that you have, either relating to what we're presenting or any question about Springring at all. We'd be happy to answer throughout the webinar. But we'll also have Q&A session at the end We want to make this as short as possible to save all the time of the teachers, because we know how busy you are. But we also want to give you the amount of time that you need to ask any questions that you have, or for us to answer any doubts that you have about how Springring can help you with your class or school communication. So we're just gonna show you how a class looks like. Let's go to this one. So grade 5 English looks like this. You can see that there is an alert post. There are no pinned posts here, so that's why they are in sequential order. You can see a post with a document, an attachment, and a lot of people use event posts and normal text posts to communicate with their students, but there are many ways to communicate with your class, including adding a link post, and people use that a lot for Zoom classes, Google Classroom classes. It's really like the sky is the limit for teachers to communicate with their students here. And we have multiple day events, and we also have a one-day event. I think, yes, we also have image posts, so you can have one image or a gallery of images. I think the image limit per gallery is 15, but we're also working around extending that so that we can give you more flexibility in your communication. We can also upload a video. This is a video of Springring. It's very flexible, as you can see. We also have the list of teachers. So you can see here who are the class teachers, the editors, and the viewers. So when you create your class, you can also add teachers that are simply viewers, or administrators that are simply viewers. They can view your class, however, they cannot contribute to the communication by posting on your class. The difference between editors and a class teacher is that only the class teacher has access to chat with the parents on the Springring chat. So how do you access the Springring chat? There is a blue chat icon in the corner. That is where you can access the parent chat, but there is also another way. So let's say you want to talk to a specific parent. I want to talk to the parents of Corey. Corey, in his profile, in the registry, you will see that there is a chat icon. So I can chat with his parents directly. It'll take me to the chat itself. So you can see communication has been happening with Corey's parents, and it's easy to communicate through the chat and get instant responses. And this is the only way that parents can also communicate back. So there is like a two-way communication, and can also be initiated by the parents. So student diary can only be initiated by the teacher once the diary entry has been created. But if parents need to communicate with you, they can easily communicate with you through the chat. Let's say, hello, Mr. Nate. Corey has not come into class today. And Nate will respond within the same chat. So Corey has one parent attached. That's why only Nate is available in this chat room. But if you are talking to the parents of a different student that has both parents, then both parents will always be in the chat. That means you don't have to repeat yourself, you don't have to communicate with the dad and the mom, or communicate twice. So we try to save teachers as much time as possible and make their communication effective and efficient so that they can spend time on other responsibilities. So let's say you want to what's it called? Okay. So I think that's the main basics of Springring. I wanted to show you the school boards. So the school boards are boards that are created by the school staff that teachers can also be a part of and have ability to edit and add posts to it. Let's say the whole school. So every school has a whole school board and then multiple other boards specific to whatever topics it is. Like there's announcements and there's so there's announcements, there's whole school, there's elementary school. So there are multiple boards that the school can create for the community, and that's aside from the whole school. So this is where all of the users in the school's Springring community will be, and anything that's posted here will be received by everyone. So this is a very useful board for administrators to get any school level information out to the whole school all at once. And teachers can also participate by creating a post here if they are part of the editors, which means they have to have the pencil icon as well. Another thing is, when it comes to the chat, is how do you set your office hours? So let's say you don't want to have a chat feature for you as a class teacher. You would like to not have the option or the ability to chat with parents because you'd prefer one-way communication. You can actually enable and disable your chat. But this option, the whole chat feature, is only available if your school administrators have enabled the chat for the school itself. So if they have, you have the ability to enable or disable a chat for you as a class teacher. If I wanted to disable my chat, parents will not be able to see any of these chat icons, whether here or whether within the student registry profile. They will not be able to communicate from their end. It would have to be from my end. Some teachers use direct posts and avoid the two-way communication, but when we've seen that teachers have used the chat feature, it has been very helpful for their class communication. We always promote two-way communication because that helps students also feel like their parents are involved and so on. So if you would like to enable your chat feature, you can also choose when during the day or during the week the parents can actually communicate with you through the Springring chat. So I would only like to have Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays available for any parent-teacher communication through the Springring chat. And these are the times I would like to set. So you can change the timing, you can change the dates, you can make sure you're available only on the weekdays. It's all up to you to make sure that your communication is effective. And once you're done setting your office hours, you can save your hours and it'll be implemented. So if a parent communicates with you outside of your office hours, they will automatically receive a Springring message that says that this teacher is unavailable at the moment, it is outside their office hours. They will receive your message as soon as they are back in their office hours. So your work-life balance will be uninterrupted. Parents will not feel neglected because they will also be receiving a message, and communication will flow seamlessly, whether you're at the office, whether you're at home, whether you're off Springring or on. And
okay. Sorry, Hadid.
No
we have 3 questions.
Yes.
Do you want to answer them now, or we leave them to the end?
I think we can answer them now because I think that's about it, and we can start our Q&A session.
All right. So the first one was, as you created a group list and individual list of students, how do I communicate individually with one student from the group list? Do I just type the name in the magnifying search and go ahead? Hadid, can you go to the class registry, please?
Yes, let's go with grade 5 English, and this is the student registry.
So here, as you can see, next to, let's wait for it to load. Next to each student's name, you're going to see the icon or the chat icon, regardless of the way he was added, the student was added to the, whether it was through groups or added individually, you can communicate right away from this step. Another question is, if I send a message to a parent, where can I see their response? Will I be notified? Of course, you will be notified. Adil, if you can go to the settings, and here's where you can. Okay, we'll get to that later. Actually, you will always get notified. If it was a comment, you'll get it in the all updates from the new comments tab. If it was a chat, depending on your office hours, you will get notified as well.
Yes, any new comments, sorry Abdullah, but any new comments for diary entry posts will come here if they are unread. So since I don't have any unread comments, there's nothing for me to check here. But you will receive any parent communication from diary posts here. Parents right now cannot comment on regular posts, which is why you don't see any updates here. When it comes to other forms of being notified by parents, you will receive a notification that a parent has sent a chat message, for example. All right, Abdullah, continue.
The last one is, do we get to know that there's a message that has come in only when we log in, or do we get notified via our official mail? This was actually answered. You will get notified. So
any more questions?
You can receive notifications while you're actively using the app, or if you were signed out, or it doesn't matter. You'll get notified either ways.
Yes, and as Ahmed Abdullah mentioned, we have both Portal, which is web browser based, and we have a teacher mobile app. So teachers prefer having both because having it on their laptop at work or their computer at work is easy. And then when they're outside of office, they can actually just make sure they stay updated on any school communication on their mobile app. And on the mobile app, Abdullah mentioned something about the settings. On the mobile app, you'll see notification section somewhere in this settings section. So you can choose to enable or disable your notifications. But if it is an alert post, regardless of whether they have enabled or disabled their notifications, they will still receive a push notification saying that this alert post, whatever the topic is about, is posted. So they won't miss any urgent post as long as they are marked as alert. So any more questions?
Yes, we have a new one here. If the students are in blocks and from different classes, is there an easy way to add them in the class list? Can you elaborate, please? I didn't quite get that. You can open your mic if you wish.
Yeah, if the students are not from one regular class, for example, it is 11R or 11I, but they are from 3 different classes coming into my class. It could be like 11S, B, and H.
Yeah.
So how do I just manually enter everybody by using the magnifying or by their codes or their first names? Or is there any other easy way out?
You can actually, there are 2 ways to do that. Either the admin can add it from add the users from his side, or for you, you can go to each class and add individually, put the name of the student that you wish to add to each class. So there is the way for adding by groups, as I showed you earlier. But for your case, the question you asked, I think it's a better way to add them individually.
Individually, yeah, right. Okay, fine. Thanks.
You're welcome.
We also would like to take this Q&A opportunity if we have teachers that have previously used it, and we also have new teachers. So we'd like to see if the previous or existing teachers have any feedback on what they would like to see in the future, what they would like to see in terms of class features or chat features. We're looking for a very seamless experience for teachers on Springring, and that's really important to us. So anything that will enhance your experience, we're all about listening to and making sure that it's implemented. Any more
Just
questions?
in case, I'll send you on the chat a link to our help desk.
Yes.
And a link to our YouTube channel where we have video tutorials for each platform, for each user type, as well as the help desk articles. You'll find them already categorized in the sections you would like to know more about. So this might be helpful if you ever needed an extra help. And of course, we are available all the time. You can always contact us.
Yeah, and Abdullah, if you could also share a link to the class resources in our Springring library. So we are constantly building our Springring resources collection to help teachers with their class lesson plans, add extra, more like of a outside of Springring platform, would you call it, kind of like a Springring touch to your actual traditional classroom environment. And we are always trying to make sure we have resources available for all our teachers, and this is just the beginning. So be sure to look out for more coming soon in the coming few months. Abdullah, are there any more questions?
No, so far that's it, I guess. If anyone has any questions, you can feel free to open your mic or type it in the chat.
Now, we've only gone through some of the basics because we didn't want to waste any more of your time. But as Abdullah said, we have a lot of features that will help your class communication, and very easy to follow YouTube tutorials on our channel, and Abdullah shared the link to that. And we are available 24/7 when it comes to our teachers, helping our teachers and making sure that they are able to use Springring as easy as possible. And I think with that, we'll conclude our webinar for today. And please be sure to look out for next week's third and final webinar of the series, where we can touch up on other very cool features of how to even improve your communication within your class. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. All right, everyone, I hope you have a good day, and hopefully we'll see you in the third webinar.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for attending.